This is Akashvani, a review of today's Parliament proceedings read by Kiran Jha. Writer is Kumar Rakesh of PTI. The Lok Sabha was adjourned today due to noisy protest by opposition parties demanding a discussion on the Special Intensive Revision SIR of electoral rules in Bihar. Due to persistent protest by the opposition, the first day of the third week of Parliament's monsoon session was a washout, like of the most of the days. It has been since the session began on 21st July, except for a two-day discussion over Operation Sindoor. Speaker Om Birla reminded the opposition members that since the monsoon session began, not even a single bill has been passed by the House due to repeated disruptions. He reminded the members that people have elected them to raise their issues in the House and ask questions of the government, asserting that their deliberate disruption of Parliament business is sending out a wrong message. However, his words were in vain as opposition members continued to raise slogans from the well and their seats, forcing him to adjourn the House minutes after the start of the question hour. When the House met at 2 p.m., opposition MPs, including those from the Congress, were on their feet, raising slogans and holding placards. The opposition has been demanding a discussion on the SIR exercise initiated by the Election Commission in Bihar ahead of the state polls due late this year. Jagdambika Pal, who was chairing the proceedings, said that two key sports bills were listed for discussion today and the House will not be doing justice with the players if the bills are not debated and passed. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju and Sports Minister Mansukh Mandaviya echoed similar views. Rijiju said it was decided that the House will discuss the bills and accused the opposition of willfully disrupting the Lok Sabha. In an apparent reference to Congress MP R. Sudha's gold chain being snatched in Delhi, Pal also told members that Speaker Om Birla has directed police to take strong action. Amid continued din, Minister of State for Finance Pankaj Chaudhary moved a statutory resolution on customs duty, which was passed by a voice vote. A peeved Pal reminded the opposition members that since the monsoon session began on July 21st, not even a single bill has been passed by the House due to repeated disruptions. This is the third week when the House proceedings have been disrupted due to sloganeering by opposition members, he said before adjourning the House for the day. Earlier in the day, Birla said he has been trying every day to run the House smoothly, but protesting members are systematically disrupting proceedings of the House. Birla said members were elected by lakhs of people to represent their hopes and aspirations and raise their issues, but they are not interested in allowing the House to function smoothly. He said they were lowering the dignity of the House by systematically obstructing the proceedings and by carrying placards in violation of rules. Birla said if the members have any issue, they should come to him for discussion, but should allow question hour to function smoothly, as many important issues are raising during the time and the government replies to them. He assured them that he will give each of them enough time to raise their issues like he did in the past, but they should allow the House to run. In a written reply to a question tabled in the House, Minister of State for Finance Pankaj Chaudhary said the Central GST Field Officer have detected tax evasion of about 7.08 lakh crore rupees in the last 5 years till 24-25 fiscal, including input tax credit fraud of about 1.79 lakh crore rupees. In 24-25 fiscal alone, over 2.23 lakh crore rupees of goods and services tax GST evasion were detected by CGST field officers, according to the data shared by the minister. Of the 30,056 cases of GST evasion detected in FY's 25, more than half pertained to ITC fraud, where the evasion was to be tuned of 58,772 crore rupees. In the 2023-24 fiscal, 2.30 lakh crore rupees worth GST evasion was detected by CGST field officers involving ITC fraud of 36,374 crore rupees. In FY's 23, about 1.32 lakh rupees GST evasion was detected, including 24,140 crore rupees of fake ITC claims. In FYs 22 and FYs 21, GST evasion stood at 73,238 crore rupees and 49,384 crore rupees respectively. This included ITC fraud of 28,022 crore rupees and 31,233 crore rupees respectively. In the last 5 years, 2021 to 24-25, total GST evasion detected by CGST field officers stood at about 7.08 lakh crore rupees in 91,370 cases. Tax recovered during the period by way of voluntary deposit stood at over 1.29 lakh crore rupees. In the evasion data, including the ITC fraud of about 1.79 lakh crore rupees in 44,938 cases between FYs 21 to FYs 25. Chaudhary said the central government and GSTN are taking various steps to prevent tax evasion, such as digitization through e-invoicing, GST analytics, highlighting of outliers based on system-flagged mismatches, providing actionable intelligence, and selection of returns for scrutiny, and selection of taxpayers for audit based on various risk parameters. He said these measures have been helpful in safeguarding the revenue and nabbing the evaders. To a question on the actual net central GST collection compared to revised estimates, Chaudhary said net CGST collection was 96.7% of the revised estimates in 2024 fiscal. Net CGST includes CGST plus integrated GST plus compensation cess. Actual collections stood at over 10.26 lakh crore rupees in FY25, as against a revised estimate of nearly 10.62 lakh crore rupees. In FYs 24, net CGST collection was over 9.57 lakh crore rupees, or 100.1% of the revised estimates of over 9.56 lakh crore rupees. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman told the House in a written reply that National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development NABARD has promoted the formation of 6,215 FPOs till date under various schemes. The major support provided to Farmers Producers Organisation FPOs includes formation of FPOs, capacity building, credit facilitation and market linkage support, financial literacy, etc., she said. In addition, she said NABARD is in partnership with Small Farmers Agriculture Business Consortium, SFAC, and Open Network for Digital Commerce, ONDC, has conducted FPO Melas Tarang, celebrating collectivization of 50 locations across 24 states and UTs to demonstrate the products of FPOs and Off-Farm Producer Organization, OFPOs, to enable the marketing and branding of FPO products. She further said NABARD extends loan assistance to state governments for the creation of rural infrastructure through various funds, that is, Rural Infrastructure Development Fund, RIDF, NABARD Infrastructure Development Assistance, NIDA, Rural Infrastructure Assistance to State Government, RIAS, Long-Term Irrigation Fund, LTIF, Micro Irrigation Fund, MIF, Food Processing Fund, FPF, Warehouse Infrastructure Fund, WIF, and Fisheries and Aquaculture Infrastructure Development Fund, FIDF. State UT-wise yearly allocation is made under RIDF on the basis of funds allocated by Reserve Bank of India for priority sector lending shortfall, she said. Other than RIDF, the support through various funds is provided to states and UTs on the basis of proposals received from the respective state UT governments, and no yearly allocation is made, she said. The reduction in the priority sector lending PSL shortfall fund in the financial year 24-25 resulted in a consequent reduction in RIDF fund allocation to the states and UTs, she said. NABARD's funding support through the above-mentioned funds enhances rural infrastructure, including roads, irrigation, shortage facilities, which leads to increased productivity and better market access in rural areas, she said. This in turn improves the ability of rural borrowers to absorb and utilize credit effectively. She said adding NABARD also provides short-term and long-term refinance to cooperative banks and regional rural banks, RRBs, for agriculture loans at concessional rate. Sharing data of sanction and disbursement under RIDF during the past 3 years, 22-23, 24-25, to various states, she said, against the sanctions of 1,40,789 crore rupees, 1,22,595 crore rupees disbursed was done. For funds other than RIDF, she said disbursement of 36,439.63 crore rupees was done against sanctions of 47,617.63 crore rupees during the financial year 22-23 to 24-25. Minister of State for Finance Pankaj Chaudhary informed the Lok Sabha that government is committed to deepening financial inclusion and ensuring that access to basic banking services leads to meaningful participation in the formal financial system, including access to credit. The launch of the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana (PMJDY) in August 2024 marked a significant step in banking the unbanked by facilitating the opening of basic saving bank accounts with associated features such as the RuPay debit cards and an inbuilt overdraft facility, he said. As of date, over 55.90 crore accounts have been opened under the PYGDY, that is a Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, and he said in the written reply. As part of the saturation drive, banks across the country are engaged in a nationwide campaign for deepening financial inclusion schemes and the re-KYC in bank accounts of the beneficiary. The 3-month drive, which started on July 1, would end on September 30th, 25. As part of the campaign, banks are holding camps at Gram Panchayat level in their endeavour to provide these services at the doorstep for re-verification of KYC of existing Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana accounts and other bank accounts, opening of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana accounts for unbanked adults, and enrollment under Social Security scheme, that is the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana and Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana and Atal Pension Yojana. The camps are also being utilized to create awareness about unclaimed deposits and to redress grievances. The local administrative machinery is supporting the initiative, and the Department of Financial Services and Reserve Bank of India are monitoring the progress slowly. Given the magnitude of the coverage to be achieved over the insuring banks have been permitted to use the services of business correspondents in the re-KYC process. Accordingly, business correspondents are also participating in the camps along with the banks present in the Gram Panchayats to facilitate customers in updating their KYC status. During the first month of the nationwide campaign, 1.05 lakh campaign have been conducted so far in many GPs covering over 1/3 of total GPs in the country, with over 6 lakh PMGDY accounts opened, 7 lakh plus enrollments under PYJJBY, approximately 12 lakh enrollment under PMSBY, and 3 lakh enrollments under APY. Replying to another question, Chaudhary said the implementation of direct benefit tax and other governance reforms has led to the removal of duplicate and fake beneficiaries and the plugging of leakages. In the Rajya Sabha, when the House met at 11 a.m., the members paid the tribute to former Jharkhand Chief Minister and the founder of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha sitting MP Shibu Soren. Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh said Shibu Soren was a senior and distinguished tribal leader who played a prominent role in the movement for their rights and upliftment of tribal communities. Harivansh said throughout his life he worked for the rights and welfare of the underprivileged. The Deputy Chairman said Shibu Soren was elected to Lok Sabha 8 times and served as the Chief Minister of Jharkhand for 3 terms. He said Shibu Soren played an important role in the movement for the formation of Jharkhand state. Later, the House observed silence for a while as a mark of respect to the departed leader before being adjourned for the day. That's all in the Parliament Review.